Hey kids, you're listening to the internet's wettest podcast about video games, consoles, and pancakes. The SML Podcast. Prepare for the SML Podcast.
What's up, everybody? This is the SML Podcast. I am your host, Joe. We have a fun episode lined up. Aki, Bri, Jacob are here. Say something.
Hi.
Something.
What the fuck? I just did that joke. You can't do it too.
Well, now I feel left out that I didn't say something as well.
Well, you just did.
All right.
You're all terrible. We have guests joining us today from Spoonful of Wonder. We have Sam and Kostia joining. How are you two today?
Hello, hello.
Hi, I'm very excited to be here. Thank you.
And we join you from Melbourne, Australia.
Nice.
What time is it there right now?
11 in the morning, nice and early.
Wow. This really does work out time-wise. We have to interview more people in Australia, I guess.
If their internet's working, maybe we can.
Yeah, like we always want to schedule stuff with people in Europe, and they're like, we're not awake at 3 in the morning. I'm like, I understand.
Fair enough.
So you were from Spoonful of Wonder, the developers of Copycat. For the people who don't know what this game is, give us the sales pitch. Tell us about it.
So Copycat is a project that we've been working on for the last 3.5 years. We didn't come from game dev, actually. So this is our debut project. We came from advertising, where we worked as like a creative duo. So Kostia did all the directing and all the art, and I did the words, and then we made the jump into video games. So our project's called Copycat. Copycat's a narrative-driven adventure game about the meaning of home, set in the suburbs. Follows the story of Dawn. She's a skeptical shelter cat whose life gets turned upside down when a stray lookalike steals her place in the home. It touches on themes of love, loneliness, and letting go as it progresses through about 3 hours of gameplay.
It is heartbreaking. Like, I don't know if I've cried this much ever playing a game before. It just tugs at the heartstrings.
It really does.
Bri and Aki, I know you two played a lot of this. I'm going to let you two ask the questions first, so I don't step on any of your toes. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
My question, because it's me. Who hurt you?
Elaborate on that, Aki.
This is such a sad game. And just, like, it starts off fairly nice, and it just gets sadder and sadder and sadder. Why? Why did you do this? Why isn't there a happy end?
There kind of is.
I don't think so. It's a great question, though. And when we started working on this game, we always wanted to tell the story, but we never thought that this would affect people this much. But there are some important topics we wanted to cover in it.
Yeah, absolutely. We always want to play this bittersweet sort of game. And I think it stems from the thematic that we were exploring at the very, very beginning. So it was about the meaning of home. And we were reflecting on what did home mean for us. So personally, home was always very fleeting for me. We moved around between a couple of different countries growing up. And so my idea of home was never stable.
Yeah, and as for me, home is, as I was born and raised in Ukraine, and now my family is still there, and home is not something I can access right now. So the meaning of it and what it means to me changed a lot over the last couple of years.
And so that's what we want to explore in the game. Like, it's not about the people you're with. It's not about what the things you own. It's about where you are needed this point in time, where you are needed most. And that really drove the story for us.
Yeah, I really like that line about home is where you're needed, or home is, yeah. I like that line.
Thanks, Bri.
So, geez, I'm not sure where to go from there.
Aki knows
You're
how to
welcome.
derail things right off.
Right. I was going to say, were there any particular cats that inspired the behaviors of Dawn?
Of course, absolutely. So I grew up with a lot of cats and love and absolutely adore them. The current cat in the game is actually voiced by my parents' cat called Flame. So we chased him around the house with a microphone, and so all the meows you hear are his.
And we are very lucky because he's a very chatty cat, so literally
Good.
12 hours to have like a variety of meows.
Yeah, I think adopting a cat is so special, and it was such an important part of my life growing up. You know, going into that shelter, trying to find a creature that you can love for the next 15 years, and you hope they love you back too. And so particularly in the first couple of scenes where the cat is in the box, we always thought, like, what would they be thinking of us? You know, they are a little bit afraid, they could be very sassy, and so we imagined, like, what was it like bringing a cat home that didn't want to be adopted, and how would that look at, like, Aki, I know you mentioned a couple of things in the podcast the other week about her saying, like, you're dreaming, or, you know, I don't belong here. Those floating text options were a great way to start to internalize.
I loved those. Those were hilarious in every way. Those were just perfection. I loved that stuff.
Yeah, I actually, I was very keen on having the black cat because I adopted my black cat, and that's one of the things that I think black cats, especially at least in America, are the least adopted cats. So I was very keen on making that part of my playthrough story because, you know, that was part of why I chose an older cat. He was at least a year old. We don't know exactly how old he was when I got him. But you know, and I think the story with him is the shelter people were surprised that he was so friendly to me. Like, apparently he would hiss every time someone would go to clean his cage. He was fine with other cats, but he didn't like the other humans. And apparently I was the magic human that he decided belonged to. So,
Aww.
It's meant to be.
Is this Teak or Dirham?
Dirham. I love that you guys learned my cats' names. Thank you so much. They're a huge part of my life. So, do you have special cats in your lives and that you have now?
Yeah, absolutely. And we actually just adopted our cat like maybe 2 months ago because over the time of the Copycat's development, we mostly worked remotely and were relocating every month, you know, tried a bit of a post-COVID digital nomad style work. But I think wanting a cat was one of the reasons we finally decided to settle. So we went to the shelter and adopted a little furball 2 months ago, and her name is Juniper.
Aw.
She is
what kind
beautiful.
of cat? Oh, we have pictures?
Yeah,
she's grey and white.
All right, I'm checking the Discord now.
I'll throw it up on the screen too.
Photos up.
Beautiful kitty.
Thanks. She's also quite sassy. She loves to play. She loves to sleep, and she sleeps on our bed every night, which is so wholesome.
Yeah, I love when Teak sleeps with me. She doesn't do it every night, but she likes to cuddle up next to my arm because I'm a side sleeper. My arm sticks out from the pillow, so she like lays in my hand. It's very sweet.
Oh, gorgeous.
We have a cat bed on my mattress, like right next to my head. When our one cat had surgery, Piddles, she had a tumor removed, and we kept her in our bedroom on our bed so we could keep an eye on her, see how she was healing. We didn't want the other cats bothering her. And now she will not sleep unless I'm holding her and snuggling with her. She will sit in her bed and paw at my face until I hold her.
No. Demanding. We like that.
And Joe has, 14 cats now?
Yes. Yep, 14. And then there's 3 that hang around outside our house that I guess
are going to
ours.
soon be adopted.
No, they are not indoor cats. The 2 of them have been in our backyard for about 3 years now. They are ear-tipped and they are fixed. They just don't want to be around people. They'll hang out on the porch when we put food out. But no, they're outdoor cats. Callie and Coco.
Oh,
Yes,
I have
we
a
named
Callie
them.
too. My porch cat is called Callie. She sleeps in the chair that I leave out for the pizza delivery. And
Is she also a calico?
She's a long hair calico.
Chocolate.
And I know, right? I just named her Callie, but she's very sweet and she'll allow me to rub her, which is nice. But she's definitely still just an outdoor cat.
That's gorgeous.
So what we're saying is, don't end up like Joe. He has entirely too many damn cats.
Oh,
He must be a very special person to have a heart that big.
Well,
He's special, all right.
Thanks, Jacob. I do have a wife, so I'm not insane. We both are.
Sure. Okay, there you fair.
They just happen, man. Cat distribution system. You don't get to control it. They just show up.
Yeah.
Just works.
Like we on our own, we got like 3 of them total. The rest just came to us.
I don't fully believe that, but sure.
How many times have I gone
obviously
over
got
the
a
story
neon
of
sign.
all of my cats on this show?
You've got some sort of neon sign written in cat language that only the cats understand, and they just know
Yeah.
it's the cool place to come hang out, and they stay.
Oh, so how did you find your way to Australia?
Yeah. I grew up in New Zealand, and we moved when I was pretty young.
Yeah, and we met, Sam and I met actually when we were working in Germany, and everything just aligned that we got a job offer in Sydney, and that was back when we were working in advertising industry. So just moved here for the career, I guess, and eventually, from doing side hustles and little creative passion projects, Copycat became our main thing, and we went full-time game dev here.
Yeah, and Melbourne's such a beautiful city for the creative industries. There's a thriving game community for developers, which is great. And there's also a lot of theatre out there, a lot of, poetry groups and stand-up comedy circles.
Thank you, Teak.
My baby
She just knocked the
Coltrane
bottle
is
off
now
my-
on my lap because she wanted to visit.
I got a Teak here with me too.
Our
Oversight.
cats are visiting.
Mm-hmm. So, what kind of development issues did you run into? Like creative challenges or technical challenges? Because you're new at
Quite a few.
this.
Yeah, we're very new. We didn't know what we were doing. We thought we'd make a short project, and it turned out to be 3 hours.
Yeah, we had to postpone our Steam Next Fest participation at least 4 times because we were not ready. Yes, it's the first game. We didn't know what we were getting into.
Yeah, we were doing on weekends and in evenings just as passion project, and as it grew, we slowly were doing it 1 or 2 days a week, and we reduced our work at our paid job, and then we were able to finally fully transition over when we needed to push to the end.
Yeah, and I would say one of the most challenging parts of the development was actually running the business, and not getting in trouble.
Yes, everything from superannuation, GST, and tax,
Contracts,
accounting, the lawyers,
legal, all that stuff. Because we were fortunate enough to get support from Australian government, and we got funded by Screen Australia.
Oh.
But they required us to, be proper. So we had to register PTY LTD company. We had to do all these things, and we are creatives in nature, and we have no idea how those things work.
So running a business and then having contractors work under you. And realizing that you have to be able to communicate to get the best out of them and really foster that bond and that relationship that you share together on this project. So that was probably the hardest thing for us. Of course, there were lots of little bumps along the way. And because we were kind of swimming alone for so long, we didn't know if anyone would ever play the game or if anyone would ever like it. So we're still so humbled that once we've launched, that people have resonated with it. They've drawn us little pictures of their cats and sent them to us. It's very sweet.
And I think the scope and overseeing like the project to the end was a little challenge because we, read to all the advice on Reddit when people say like, for your first game, do not make big or do not make your dream game. Make something small, learn the right way. But knowing ourselves, we knew that if we started on something that we were not 100% passionate about, we probably would never finish it. And that was our only option, just to make our dream game as a first project. And luckily, we kind of stuck to it and brought it to life.
Yeah, and we know it's not perfect by any means, but we're just really proud of the product that we've made in the end.
Excellent. How long was the development on the game? Like, when did the idea first start?
We came up with the idea on a random hike. We just went hiking. It's like our brainstorm time when we're in the middle of the forest walking for 3 days. We just start brainstorming randomly. So we just came up with this idea to make a game because we came off the back of making a short animated film, because we tried and we made some short films, we made a kids book, so we're trying different creative mediums, and we thought, hey, we kind of learned how to do 3D. We learned a bit of storytelling and production stuff, so why don't we try to make it interactive? So we started, as Sam said, 2022, 2021, somewhere there. And I think altogether by now it's probably been 3.5 years. First couple of years we were doing it in a hobby capacity, so we did part-time, we still worked. And then the funding from Screen Australia allowed us to go full-time for the last 1.5 years. And
I think like the heart of the story was a relationship between a human and their pet. And we know pets love us on good days and bad. They see a side that no one else sees. And so we really wanted to champion that story and kind of see like a story a little bit about forgiveness as well, but just that love that a pet has for their owner. And that's what we wanted to explore.
Any funny glitches that you ran into while you were making the game? Like, I think recently I read an article where someone had like a character that was like grew too big or something. Like, did you have anything funny like that happen when you were working on it?
There are a few little things that like kind of almost considered keeping in the game as like a little cheat code or Easter egg. When we were experimenting with fur system that we didn't end up going with because it was too resource heavy, there are some moments where the fur somehow glitched out and made a cat like five times bigger. It looked like a very, very fluffy dog just running around, like a little Chewbacca, I think. We almost made like Star Wars memes out of it.
Nice.
Other than that,
we have the double cat.
We have double cat when we just forgot to disable one accidentally, and somehow you could like control both of them at the same time, and we almost went with that as a mechanic. You never know. Maybe we'll come back in a sequel if we ever get to do one.
We had the GTA inspired glitch. Kostia somehow got the cat to drive the car down the street.
Yeah.
Wow.
Timed almost perfectly with GTA 6 announcement a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Definitely should have kept that in the game.
Yeah, there was a lot of joy that we had. Yeah.
And that could be the next game, Copycat Cart.
Especially with Mario coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really sweet. We've got a friend making a game called Doggy Don't Care, and he had all these hats that the dog can wear, and they made a copycat outfit for the dog, which is kind of cute.
It's a very special collaboration.
That's awesome.
Oh, this one looks cute.
So during the sad parts of the game, I mean, I know that you talk about the themes of home and love and all that, and you seem to be taking that positive spin on it. But like, some of those parts were sad, and I imagine like you had to kind of confront some of those feelings. What kind of self-care would you guys do, either as part of development in your stressful periods, or as a result of the story you were working on?
Really beautiful question. When we were scripting the game, I was a part of a lot of I was part of this writers group, and so everyone would bring their own little project, and we'd read it together and we'd talk about it. So that was really cathartic for us to do, to get some like early guidance on the idea and how it was making people feel. And afterwards, we would always talk about, the really wonderful things that pets do in our lives that make us feel whole and make us feel together.
That's great.
And then I think just for us, like we always just made sure that we were ending the evening on a positive note. We weren't going to bed wondering. I think the hardest thing was seeing our streamers play the game and seeing people get really upset, because our intention is to tell a moving emotional story, but we never want anyone to feel bad or feel like they're losing. And so after watching some of those streams, I think that's where we had to sit down and like send messages to the streamer and check in and see if they're okay, and making sure that we're never, making anyone feel horrible.
Well, yeah, I definitely had a hard time during parts of the game streaming it. I wasn't able to talk clearly because, I'm choking back the tears. And there were definitely some parts that were hard to watch or feel like I'm a participant in as, an active user, interacting with the medium, because those are decisions I wouldn't make, and I think that was definitely a little bit challenging. I know for me, I used to work in park services and in a large city, and people would abandon their pets there all the time. And it was so sad. And, we would always try and find new homes for them, or we became the center for abandoned wildlife or injured wildlife as well. And I would take them to, there was a charity-run organization that rehabilitated wildlife and stuff. But it was always so just disheartening to see people leave their animals in our parks. And I relived some of that when I was playing Copycat.
It's a big issue, especially post-COVID, when people were locked inside and everyone wanted a pet, and then they had to go back to work and realized it might not be for them. So the whole pet abandonment issue became really bad. So it's partially what inspired us is to tell the story, to, reflect on it and kind of make people feel the problem, the responsibility, and how it feels from the cat perspective. On the other hand, playing as a cat also changes how you see it, and like it brings this layer of innocence, I would say, when, as humans, we play this game and we understand perfectly what's going on with Olive and her daughter and her health concerns. But as a cat, she doesn't completely understand what it means, and like if Olive doesn't open her bedroom door, the cat thinks that she probably just having a long nap, and this duality of it just helps us reflect and build this interesting connection to bring the perspective of the cat into the game as well and make people see it from different eyes.
Yeah, and I think the other, theme that I saw in the game was, dealing with an ailing parent. I don't know if that's a reflection of something in your own lives as well, but that was an interesting theme, an extra layer there, I think, about, those feelings of home and abandonment and all those themes again kind of come to that we attribute human emotions to our pets so often, I think, as well.
Yeah, it was a reflection on what was happening with my family at the moment. Of course, they're like things that we dramatized for the purpose of the game. But ultimately, it was a grandparent trying to find her independence in a world where her daughter wants to look after her and make sure she's safe. My grandma also had emphysema when she was alive. And so I guess the health scare when it related to my mum, she always wanted to make sure that my grandma was always looking after herself and feeling safe. And so we did explore a little bit there.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry that you had to go through any of that, but it was well portrayed, and just like I said, an extra layer to the game about the human emotions of those things and dealing with potential loss and all that.
But keeping Olive's fiery spirit, she is independent. She's out there to try to prove to everyone she is still capable. So it was a really interesting duality.
Yeah, definitely.
I will say Olive and her health struggles, it kind of made me think of my own mortality in ways. The other day I tripped over a cat trying to avoid them because they love to run under your feet. And I'm just laying on the ground laughing because I fell over a cat. And Simon, the one I tried stepping over, just came up and curled up next to me like he was sorry. Aww. And it makes me think, what happens if I or my wife, we pass and the cats are just what happened? Where are they?
Yeah.
It really, it's a very emotional game. All right, someone else talk. I got to stop.
All right. Yeah, so you had a couple cat facts in the game. Do you have any more for us? I know that almost all orange cats are male, but what other cool cat facts did you come across while you were working on this?
No, almost all female cats are tortoiseshell. I think that was the reverse one. We learned a lot about big cats, and because we kind of we didn't know what big cat we were going to explore. We didn't know if it was going to be a tiger or a lion or a panther, and we kind of just settled on big cats in general, and that way it reflected the cat that you found at the shelter in the first scene. But yeah, they hunt, they love to swim. There were so many little facts that we wanted to weave in there.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time watching documentaries just to get this right voice lines happening, to get our knowledge up.
I loved the narrator doing the nature show. That was such a great way to kind of integrate what the cat's thinking and doing along with the white text. That was just such a fun way to do that.
That was fun exercise, I guess, and little challenge to tell the story through the perspective of non-verbal protagonists as well. Because, we didn't want to go full Disney, kind of make her talk, but we needed to find some ways to express her feelings.
Yeah, and the nature expert, he brings so much light into the scene. He brings the comedy, and because we do have that lightness, it does mean that the darkness can come through as well. He was excellent. The voice actor that played it, he's just done a lot of theatre, and so this was his first time voicing for a video game. So we were so grateful that we were able to have our friends and family help out. It was also inspired because at the time we were playing Stanley Parable, and we just love this idea of the unreliable narrator. And so towards the end of the game, we tried to, put a little bit of that in there to show that it was the player that had to make the decisions, not the narrator giving advice about where she should go and what to do.
Excellent. Is there any story behind the name Spoonful of Wonder?
I guess we just started thinking of what we're going to call ourselves and what name would reflect the type of games and experiences we wanted to create. And we thought that having a little something special and adding it to our game could be our little recipe for our products, for our ideas. So we thought, why don't we add a little spoonful of wonder into every project we make? So
I love that. That's
and
great.
Also, of course, big Mary Poppins fan, so we needed to spoonful of sugar.
What's the medicine?
Do you have any other movies and media that you're big fans of?
Yeah, we can reflect on the things that inspired us potentially from an art direction point of view.
From the art direction, we obviously a lot of Disney and Pixar visually, with this vibrant colors, vibrant light, the atmosphere, but also a bit of anime, a bit of Makoto Shinkai with the lighting and the volumetrics and all the work there inspired us. But art directionally, we were coming from the being a like 3-person team, like 2 of us and our composer. We had to find this balance between the visual style we wanted to achieve and visual style we could achieve as a tiny team, and we had to rely on some of the existing assets and bring it all together. Like in terms of art direction, we couldn't design every single element ourselves. So, but yeah, those were the sources of the inspiration for our art and visual and the look.
Yeah, and for story, like you could probably definitely see the aspects of Fox and the Hound or Brother Bear in there. We also did a lot of we were kind of playing with the magical elements as well, particularly from Roald Dahl, a lot of his early books. But yeah, ultimately we just wanted to tell a story that people could hug their pet and then just feel really grateful for the friendship and the love they share.
Yeah, in terms of feel, we often describe our game as Life is Strange meets Stanley Parable, and a bit of a Stray, because obviously cat protagonist, you can't avoid the comparison.
Right.
Yeah, but we have...
I was actually curious about that myself. I mean, over the last few years, we've had a number of games where there is a cat protagonist, like Stray, Little Kitty, Big City, and other stuff like that. During game production, were you ever looking at these titles and being like, shit? Is our game gonna get lost in the mix, or be seen as some sort of knockoff, or did you view it as okay, cool, there is an audience for people who want to play narrative games featuring cats?
Yeah, Joe. Yeah, you absolutely hit the nail on the head. We were terrified, but we were also amazed and excited. It was the cat renaissance. And all these games were coming out. Of course, we started in 2020, late 2021, early 2022. And so we did see those first couple of trailers of Stray, and we were we thought we were doing something really unique. Just this little 2-person team in the bottom of the world working on it.
Yeah, and then of course, we were kind of too excited about our idea and too into the process to abandon it, so we decided to stick to it. The name of the game obviously didn't help, and the internet was internet, so we did get a bit of comparison with Stray, but we're very happy that after people actually get to play and enjoy it and experience Copycat, we rarely have any Stray comparisons anymore.
Yeah, and look, all the cat games out there are doing such a beautiful job. Stray was incredible. We played Little Kitty Big City and absolutely loved it. And all the games are so different, but we've been able to kind of band together, especially all these pet games that are coming out at the moment.
Do you have any plans for physical editions of the game?
Well, I'm glad you asked. We were just going to announce, I literally have a Photoshop file open on my screen right now. So we're announcing today that in partnership with Tsura Games, we are releasing a physical edition of our PlayStation game.
Okay.
So that will be fun. We still can't believe it's happening, actually, because having your game as a physical release is a little indie studio. That's very...
It's a big deal.
Yeah, it's very special. Just to be able to hold in your hands and hey, we made this one. So it's very exciting. We're posting the news today, and it will be available for pre-order and hopefully coming this season.
The funny thing is,
Excellent.
I just got an email about that this morning, and I was going to bring it up, but Bri beat me to it. Do you know if there's any chance of a possible future Xbox version or physical version, or is Tessera only doing PS5?
We have an Xbox digital version already out. We haven't discussed Xbox possibility, but if there is a right partner and interest in it, we'll totally be open. So, in case anyone's listening, we're here.
Yeah, Xbox physical tends to get skipped a lot, and that's why we're asking. So I think there's definitely an interest for a lot of physical games on Xbox, but we keep getting skipped. Not sure why.
That's another little block, I guess, on the way for physical for us was that we are a short game, and our retail price is, what's it in US, like $14.99 US. So the production and distribution of the disc almost doubles it, and we struggle to justify this price tag for such short game. But so we try to reduce it as much as possible and add as many benefits and things into it as possible to make it
for sure.
Yeah.
And I know, being that this is a first project, like it's just exciting to have the physical in your hand at some point anyway. So yeah.
So keeping an eye out this season. It'll be fun.
The game is available right now on PC, PS5, and Series X and S. Have there been any talks of a potential Switch 2 version?
Yeah. Like, Switch is my, favorite platform. It's my favorite medium to play. And so we've been pushing for it slowly but surely. We couldn't manage to get a Switch 2 dev kit, so we're still waiting until it's a little bit more approachable. We tried on Switch, but it was just really tricky because it was a new platform for us to try to do the back end.
Yeah, and the original Switch is a little bit dated hardware-wise. Everyone knows that. And we just managed to run a couple of scenes on the original Switch at 30 frames per second. But that meant that we had to remove and rework so much that we were just not happy with how it looked and felt anymore.
We had to take out every second piece of grass and take out the clouds in the sky and take out some of those light particles.
It just became too tricky, and we made a call to pause the original Switch port for now. And, we'll see, as Sam mentioned, we're too small of a fish to get early access to Switch 2 dev kits. But whenever that becomes a possibility, we'll definitely look into it.
That'd be very cool to see. I know a lot of small publishers love doing Switch physicals as well, so I wouldn't be shocked if that turns into a possibility if a Switch 2 version happens. Did you guys get Switch 2s?
Not yet. We've still been in launch mode, so we haven't quite moved into relaxation mode. But yeah, very, very soon. We look forward to it. I'm particularly looking forward to the new Pokemon game, so I'll wait patiently until that's announced.
What other games do you enjoy playing in your spare time?
We're doing Life is Strange double exposure at the moment. I think we're about an hour or two away from finishing. That's very exciting.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of games as a part of, I guess, research, narrative. We just revisited Detroit Become Human before that.
That was amazing.
Yes. We obviously played Stray after we released Copycat. That was the first game we played because we refused to touch it before the release, not to get influenced or compare.
Yep. Plausible deniability. Yep.
So Stray was good. And then on the side, personally, as someone who grew up in Eastern Europe, I enjoy occasional hour or two of Counter-Strike. You gotta do some pew-pews.
There you go.
Yeah.
And Kingdom Come Deliverance too.
Yes. That was...
Yeah, I played that one. That's, man, that gets difficult.
It is hard, but it's funny thing about being a developer that you're supposed to know all those games, but after spending the whole day working on one, you rarely want to play more games. We're just on this constant challenge of actually finding time to play more games after working on it. And at the end of the day, you just want to read a book or do something not screen related.
But the next game we've got lined up will be South of Midnight. We can't wait to give that a go.
Oh, nice.
Such a good game.
Any other games that you're excited about in the future? We just had Summer Games Fest last week. Did you see any of that coverage? Any trailers for upcoming things?
Big backlog. Mafia is my favorite game of all times, especially the original one and the remaster. So I'm really excited to see what they do with the new one. That would be very, very cool to look at. I would say that's definitely the highlight. And just have quite a chunky backlog in general. And now there's a Steam
don't we
Fest as
all?
well. Yeah,
Backlogs are
the Steam
real.
Next Fest.
Backlogs are brutal.
Yeah, so good thing with the backlog that eventually all these games go on sale, and you're like, oh yeah, remember that game I wanted to play? It's like 90% off now.
Yeah. I'm just going to be starting on Baldur's Gate 3. I just got it gifted to me, so that's been moved up into the queue. So yeah, my backlog's going to get put on hold while I play that.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier you wrote a children's book?
We did.
Is
It's
that what I
available
heard?
on Amazon. Yeah, it's called The
Tell me
Little
more about
Cloud.
that.
Oh, okay, great. It's called The Little Cloud Who Was Left Behind. And it's another kind of bittersweet story that we're exploring, but we thematically wanted to find our place in the world, and we thought that this was a really beautiful message to share. And yeah, it's about a little cloud who tries to find his place. He realizes that he's not a big storm cloud. He's not a shade cloud. He realizes he doesn't have strong enough wind to be a wind cloud. But in the end, he finds himself being a shape cloud, and he's the one that makes shapes in the sky. And yeah, it was probably our very first experience with 3D.
Yeah, other than little work-related renders of like stills and whatnot, that was when we actually learned how to, build locations and characters and stuff like that. So definitely was a transferable skill when we went into game dev.
Very cool. So
on Amazon, if people want to check it out. I dropped a link in our Twitch chat. It was on Kindle and paperback. So there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you sound like as creatives you come up with a lot of ideas for things. Do you have any ideas for future games yet? Or are you going to move on to other types of creative projects?
That's a really great question. I think we found our home in games. Like, it was always something we wanted to do growing up, but we never thought it was possible. We didn't know if we would find the right person to collaborate with, but we're very grateful to have found ourselves and found this beautiful community and industry.
Yeah, and we definitely have ideas for the future game. And we are probably in this, I guess, in film terms, in the pre-production currently, where Sam's already made a very big dent on the script, because that's how we approach the games. We approach them narrative first, and then we build the game around it. So how are you going with the script?
It's going really well. I think the thing that we felt that was the most special about Copycat was that relationship between animal and human. And so we really wanted to bring that into our next game as well. But the next game is going to be underwater. It's about a little orca whale and a scuba diver and their friendship. And yeah, we're still far away. But I think what we really loved was we found that orca whales had a really interesting fact where they actually choose what pod to be part of. So it's common for whales to depart from the family that they were born in to find a new pod. And so we thought that would be a really beautiful metaphor about broken families and building your own chosen family. So that's the world that we're playing in.
I love that chosen family. I have a very big connection to that phrase as well. It's a good it's a good phrase. I don't know what else to say there.
Thanks, Bri.
So you also mentioned you had done some short films. Tell us about those.
Yeah, that was our, I guess, advertising-inspired side hustles and little projects because, we made commercials for these brands and we got to go on film sets and see how it works. And it inspired us to, make some films to explore our ideas, not necessarily what our clients were paying us to explore. And have this unlimited creativity. So we did quite a few short films, I would say, over a couple of years before, where we just, come up with an idea. Sam would write a beautiful script. I would practice a little bit in directing, and we just, pull up some favors and friends together and make these little short films. Some of them made even in a little local film festivals. So it was fun to explore, and definitely guess experience from making them we could also bring into game dev by using the camera techniques and directing and lighting and storytelling in general. So definitely a great ramp into game dev there.
Yeah, and one of our favourites is called Pop, and it's about a little balloon who enters a cactus store. And there's a little bit of a romantic comedy thread through it between the owner of the balloon cart outside and the cactus store owner on the inside. So yeah, designed to bring some laughs and a bit of reflection in there as well.
Yeah, it was fully animated in 3D and it was about 5 minutes long, about that, or 7. And fun story about that is that we didn't really have the right hardware to render it in-house. So we built this really weird looking render farm. It was my old Razer Blade gaming laptop and 3 old MacBooks. And the whole thing took us literally about 5 months to render, frame by frame. It was a beast, and it almost blew up my laptop because at some point I noticed I couldn't press the button on the keyboard, and then I looked at it and the whole laptop was very bulged because the battery expanded so much that it was pushing the plastic out. So that was a very good call to stop rendering on the laptops and finally get a desktop PC.
I think something really wonderful that came out from that process was we connected with our composer. His name's Dan Bunting, and he worked with us on Pop on the short film. And because we had that relationship, he was able to make that jump into video games alongside us as well. So first time for him to compose a game. This was the longest piece he had ever done. It's 3 hours long. But he also had a cat, Valeria, and Valeria helped make many of the important musical decisions. He said he would always have to run it past Valeria to see if the music was gelling. And so now we have this lifelong, partnership with Dan, and he'll be very close to us as we move on to our next project, our next video game with him.
Part of your business family, your chosen family, right?
So the game first launched in September 24 on Steam. What was the initial reaction to the release of the game? Did it take you by surprise that it was getting a lot of attention?
I think we were comfortable marketing-wise, with our ability to promote it because we came from 10 years of advertising experience before. But that being said, it's a completely different industry, and what works in advertising doesn't necessarily work in game marketing. So we still had no idea. I think we did launch with a significant number of wish lists. I think by the launch date, we were 140,000. So that was very promising, but we just had no idea, It could launch, what if no one buys it? What if everyone hates it? There was so many doubt in our heads launching it.
But we were really grateful that we had this small community of streamers that we had built a relationship up with over the course of the 6 months before the game. We met them at Steam Next Fest. We would go onto YouTube and then look for Copycat and look for all the demos that people had played, and then we'd send individual emails to each of these streamers to say we really enjoyed the stream, and so by doing that we were able to follow them on Twitter and get to know what sort of games they were interested in and if they were a good fit for our game. And then when launch day came, we had all these, this big community of people very excited to play the game. As mentioned before, the hardest part was watching the stream and seeing people get upset because, again, we didn't want to... We want people to go on this emotional roller coaster and pull at the heartstrings, but at the end we do want to, bring their heart back together. And if it has cracked in any ways, we wanted to mend it the best we could.
Yeah, and what was interesting that our initial followers and the community, they knew what kind of game we were making. They knew it would be a roller coaster, and they came with that expectations, and they really enjoyed it. But then, as the game became a little bit bigger, it attracted a wider audience, as Sam said, that didn't necessarily do more research and reading on the game. And, some people saw the cat and screenshots and were like, oh, that could be
cute
fun.
Kitty game. Yay.
Yeah.
I get to make mess and throw things off the shelves. Let's do it. And then it kind of just emotional brick to the face, as people say, and caught them by surprise a little bit.
Yeah, and of course they were limited because we're not a sandbox sort of game, and so people came in with different expectations. People came in being very loyal to Stray as well and not wanting our game to do well. And so, yeah, we were just, it was huge for us, just that moment of launching, of 3 years of your heart and soul together put into this one little game and pressing go. The first week it was a tidal wave of emotions. And then trying to always see the good in it, even if people aren't enjoying it, even if there are bugs, even if the game hasn't performed as well as we hoped. We just, reflect on the whole 3 years and just, be always looking for the positives.
Good. That's a good attitude to have, for sure.
Would you consider Copycat overall a successful venture?
Yeah,
100%. It's, and success means different things to different people and different companies. Say if a big company like Ubisoft released Copycat and get our sale numbers, they would probably have to shut down. But we're a team of 3 people, and we are very happy with how it did, and it will allow us to concentrate on the next game, and that was our goal.
Yeah, we have people messaging us saying how much it affected them, and how they feel, grateful that they got to play the game. We had people send us messages saying they went out and adopted a cat because they felt so empowered to do that. And, for that's definitely a win for us. Our game made them feel that strongly.
How many name them Dawn?
I don't know, but I had someone message yesterday actually saying they have a cat, a 10-year-old cat called Ivy, and they said they wanted to know where the name Dawn came from. And so we had to reflect back and, why we chose our protagonist's name. It's in a song. It's the first couple of lyrics in a James Blunt song that my grandma used to sing. And so I wanted to kind of, name her after that, the cat after that.
Neat.
We thought we'd also name our cat one day Dawn, but by the time we were ready to adopt a cat, we were like, no, Dawn is it's a protagonist of the game. We cannot name a cat after that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Well, I know we've been chatting for a good while here. Is there anything you wanted to talk about that we didn't bring up?
I think you guys had beautiful questions, and it was very, very enjoyable chat, and we're so grateful for you talking to us and taking your time and expressing your interest in our game. That means a lot. Honestly, we're just 2 developers here, in the other side of the world, and just still hard to believe that something like this is possible. And we just wanted to say thank you, and we really appreciate your time, and to whoever listens to this wonderful podcast, guys, play more indies. Indies are awesome.
Yes.
Very good. Aki, any final questions on your end?
Yeah. There were the TV. Every time you go past it, it's talking about news facts of like big cats and stuff. Are those randomized, or is it the same every playthrough?
It would be the same, I believe. Just because we had very limited resources, so we squeezed our last possible budget to get the sound recording studio in Sydney. So as much as we would want to bring more content into the game or make choices that make more difference, Copycat is very linear experience due to our initial restrictions. So it may not be highly replayable, but don't let us stop you.
Bri, final question.
What's your favorite breed of cat, if you have one?
Oh, we love all cats, especially the shelter cats, the mangy ones with the ear bit and the eye missing. Oh. But if we thought about this, so Kostia, you go first. Yeah.
Okay, if we had to, someone no, you have to have a breed cat, I think I would go for Maine Coon.
Yes, such a good choice.
She's got gorgeous, thick, luscious hair.
Mm-hmm.
No, because Maine Coons are big, so there's physically more cat you get,
Mm-hmm.
and I assume they give bigger cuddles.
They do.
And I think I'd be a little Devon Rex. Little one that loves the heat, loves sitting in the sun. Got a little bit of curly fur. Little alien with big eyes and big ears. Oh, and yeah, we've heard as well Devon Rexes are a monkey in a cat suit. We've heard that one before.
I like that.
What about you guys? What cat breeds would you be?
I never thought that I would love a long-haired cat, but Teak came into my life by accident. Well, not completely by accident, but I was not expecting a fluffy cat, but she's a Burman, and I love everything about her personality. It's so wonderful, and I've read up on Burmans now, and I would if I had a choice in the future, I would absolutely adopt another Burman. So.
Oh, lovely.
They're beautiful.
I like my orange cats. They're dumb. They're cute. One orange brain cell is the most true Reddit sub on the planet because our orange ones are not very bright.
I didn't know it was a subreddit, but I'm definitely subscribing to that.
Yep, one orange brain cell.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I totally believe it.
Aki, what cat would you want to be? Or would you get?
Oh man, I don't know. I'm gonna say the evil thing. I'm more of a dog person.
That's okay.
Oh,
so
I was gonna be the only one to say that.
No. I would prefer to have like a coyote or something.
Oh,
yeah, why not?
Jacob,
Rude.
Dog as well for you?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Any final questions on your end, Jacob?
No, I think we covered pretty much everything.
All right. Well, I guess the only other question I have is, where can people get your game? How much is it? Where do people keep up to date with you? Give us all the info about yourselves.
Absolutely. Well, the game's available on most platforms now. So it's on Steam, playable on PC and Mac. It's also on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. So in any of the storefronts, you can just search Copycat and it will be right there for $14.99 US. Original pricing applies.
Yeah, and you can find us on all our social channels. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, YouTube, LinkedIn, all that. And because it's just the two of us, you'll always hear from, us. We're always there. You can also drop us a line at hello@spoonfulofwonder.com. And we promise we're very nice and we'll always reply.
Absolutely have been very nice when I had to speak to you. So Definitely encourage that. Again, thank you so much for taking the time to learn my cats' names and address all of us. I appreciated that so much.
Oh, such a pleasure. Aki, Bri, Jacob, thanks for having us.
It was an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Absolutely. Keep up to date with us with your future projects. We'd love to have you back on again in the future when your next game is ready to be talked about. Do you have any final words before we let you go?
Just make sure you give your friends and family and pets a big cuddle. It's important.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we will let you get going. Thank you again so much for joining us. And have a wonderful day down under.
Friday.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was fun.
You should feel ashamed of that pun. It was bad. Down under, really? Come on now. You could have done better than that.
I'm not the one who was talking about making a knockoff and didn't use the word copycat.
A copycat. I know, I was thinking the same thing.
Jacob.
What?
Yeah, fair.
You had the best opportunity for a pun. Fucked it up, man.
Yeah, but they said like tons of people were already accusing them of like the same thing. So, I mean, no?
Pun's a pun, man. Pun's a pun. Your disappointment.
I guess you're going to punish me for it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. News. You ready to dive into news?
Let's do it.
Do we have to?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, fine.
It's a Thursday show. That's what we do.
Is it what we do?
Have to be what we do.
The Switch
That's
2
true.
has sold over 3.5 million units in 4 days. Guess those $80 game prices really did keep people away, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mission accomplished. The boycott worked.
There was a boycott?
People are like, I'm not going to buy a Switch 2 because I'm not paying $80 for Mario Kart. Well, 3.5 million people did. So,
I mean, I boycotted it.
did you?
No, I really just couldn't afford it.
PlayStation Plus game catalog update for June 17th was announced. Big batch of games joining. They're getting FBC Firebreak on launch.
Nice.
Woot.
Yep, that's also joining Game Pass for the people who are worried about that. Battlefield 2042.
Okay.
Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2.
Nice.
The Hunter Call of the Wild.
Interesting.
We Love Katamari Reroll and Royal Reverie.
Yay.
Fair.
Ayuden Chronicles 100 Heroes.
Yay.
Very nice.
Train Sim World 5.
Hell yes.
About time you chime in on one of them.
I-
Endless Dungeon.
Good if
I don't
you
know
like
that one.
dungeons that don't end.
Yeah,
True, technically.
covered it all. Premium is getting one game with Deus Ex: The Conspiracy for PS2.
Great.
Oh.
Yeah.
Woo.
It is being reported that the Xbox releases of Ninja Gaiden 4, Gears of War Reloaded, and The Outer Worlds 2 will be digital only, while the PS5 is getting disc releases.
Curious.
Yeah.
Ninja
Fair.
Gaiden I can understand. Gears of War? Really? We can't get a disc for that one on Xbox?
For what? Reloaded?
Yeah,
I mean, why would we?
because it's the new Gears of War release. Why wouldn't we get a disc?
Because
I-
essentially,
I think at this point, Microsoft just assumes everyone's doing digital only, and they've just given up on most physical stuff.
well, also, I mean, if you own Gears of War,
Doesn't matter. New customers would want to buy a disc.
how many?
I don't
new
know if they
customers
would.
Are there?
Doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, yeah. If Microsoft's going to end up just making a bunch of coasters, then yeah, it would matter for how they're looking at it. I mean, that's probably why they just handed out free codes to anyone who played the Ultimate Edition. Because,
No, they're doing that because they said they would give the game away for free to Ultimate owners.
Also, I'm not sure how many new people would want a disc anyways at this point. So many people have moved over to digital.
Collectors.
Yeah. There are
Doesn't
still a
matter
lot
if
of
you don't
collectors.
want it. People out there do want it.
Yeah, but why would they want to make, like, I don't know what, 1,000 discs?
They
That's
wouldn't
a
make
waste of
1,000
time.
discs for Gears of fucking War. Come on. 1,000? You really think they would only make 1,000 for one of their tentpole series?
Well, considering they made 0, yeah. I just don't think there's going to be that many people who would be wanting to, collect for, this.
I mean,
of
if
all
there was
things.
like a collector's edition, I guess maybe I could see it, but I don't know. I don't think it's that, like, this one's that weird for them to not do a retail release on it, at least for Xbox.
I mean, and with
I think you're out of your fucking mind. So we have a chat full of people who want discs. So
yeah, and our chat's weird. We're weird. All of us are weird. We're not the normal.
I don't know. I think we're a good sample size of the greater population.
Really? You think so?
Yeah.
Fair.
I think if they're releasing a new Gears of War game on disc, it shouldn't just be a PlayStation release. I think that's dumb.
Yeah.
Considering it's Xbox releasing the game. That's just fucking over their own customer base.
Or not being, like, the way I see it is that they're looking at it as like, well, we're not going to triple dip on the same title.
They're still selling it digital. It's still going to cost money.
I get that.
No reason to not do a disc.
I get that they are going to sell it digitally, but again, the people who already own the whatever the crap, the Ultimate Edition version of it, again, they're getting it for free. So I don't know. I just I don't see it as much of an issue.
How big was your 360 collection?
Pretty damn big, unfortunately.
With that mindset, if they released a game on the 360 digital but physical on PS3, would you be annoyed?
Back when I was 20 and I was buying tons of games with disposable income that I didn't really
There's
have.
millions of people who are 20 and buying games with disposable income now. Not just us. People want discs on Xbox. And Xbox is releasing discs on PlayStation, but not Xbox. That's bullshit. It's just bullshit. If they're going to do a physical release, do a fucking physical release. This isn't limited run games. This is a $1 trillion company. Fucking print discs.
They're moving towards all digital. That has been their plan for over a decade. They're not going to make physical stuff.
We don't know what the next console is going to be. We don't know what the next console is going to be. If there's a next one.
Right. If.
Well, there were some rumors that I saw today about there being a new console information stirring, but just rumors.
What'd you hear?
Was it the same as the old one?
That's about it. Nothing concrete. Just that there was more of a stir about that.
Yeah, I remember back when they were like, "Oh yeah, the next one, we have information about it. It's gonna be like an Alexa." And I was like, "Oh, yeah." There was that a couple years ago, I think. They were like, it was gonna be like one of those little circular sacks of shit that you have in your kitchen or something. And I was like, "That's gonna be hideous."
Oh, that was in the leaks from the court case.
Forever ago.
Yeah, they were just prototypes only, and it was supposed to be what the Series X remodel looked.
Oh, that's what that was. Okay, I couldn't remember because I was just like, "That's ugly," and it was out of my head at that.
Yeah.
And that was all digital, I think, was the plan for that one, too. And I was like, ugh.
Yeah, and there was a lot of backlash, so they didn't do it.
Oh, I didn't
continue to
remember being
manufacture consoles with a disk drive. They did a 2 terabyte console with a disk drive.
I mean, to be fair, that one already
Discs will
existed.
still be optional with the next console. I think they might go the PlayStation route and sell it as an add-on, but I don't think they're going to shut out all the disc owners. If they did, I'll be honest, I won't be shocked because they've been doing a lot of shit to piss off their own audience, but I'm sorry, $1 trillion company not releasing discs on their own platform is stupid.
Seems weird, yeah.
It is stupid. They have the money. They lay off how many friggin' people? They have massive record profits, and they can't print discs on Xbox or Xbox from Xbox. Xbox branded games. Like, stupid. Especially if the rumors are that they are going to do physicals of code in a box.
Yeah.
I hate that even more. I fucking hate when they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna give you a box and we're just gonna put a digital download code in it. Fuck you, give me either a disc or just don't make the fucking thing. That's so stupid.
I can understand when a collector's edition comes with like a steel book and a digital code, because there are Series S and digital PlayStation owners that would want a collector's edition and would potentially want a steel book for their shelf, but they can't use a disc. So
Fair. I never really thought of that. I still don't like it. Still annoys me.
There's no reason. $1 trillion company. Come on. It's Microsoft. Like, aren't they the richest company on the planet right now? Or is that Amazon?
I don't know.
They're up there. They're one of the most valuable brands on the friggin' planet. They're making more money than ever with their PlayStation releases. No reason to not do a disc on Xbox. Or Gears of fucking War. This isn't Viva Pinata. This isn't a Zurich. Not Fusion Frenzy. This is Gears of War. One of their absolute top tier titles.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
Weird choice. What other news you got?
Nintendo announced Splatoon Raiders for the Switch 2 looks to be a single player adventure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sony Bend laying off 30% of their staff this week. Okay.
Yep. About 40 people. They were, I guess, originally working on a live service game that was canceled in January.
Shocker.
So I don't know what they were working on after that, but yeah.
Remember saying Gears of War wasn't Xbox owned, it was Epic IP, they just bought it. Yes, it was an Xbox exclusive. And then when Epic was like, hey, we're going to go multi-platform with this, Xbox is like, we'll buy the IP. So it's an Xbox IP. It has only ever been an Xbox brand until this summer. Yes, it's Xbox. Gradius 5 has been delisted from the PS3 store. Konami states it was software license expiring, and there are no plans to re-release the game.
Damn.
Yeah. And it will not be part of the Gradius Origins collection releasing later this year. Yeah. Aki, what news do you have?
I got nada.
Oh my god, what a surprise.
Hey, at least I'm consistent, okay?
That's true. Sometimes I unfortunately have news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did I miss while I was hydrating?
Nothing.
Oh, we were still arguing about Gears of War?
A little.
We also
I announced
talked about
Splatoon
Bend
Raiders
Studio.
and Sony Bend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one's that? Was that? Okay. Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's unbelievable. Bri, what news do you have?
The voice actor for Princess Peach and Toad for the last 18 years is no longer the voice of the characters. She was not fired, just replaced without notice. Samantha Kelly realized she'd been replaced when Mario Kart World released on June 5th, and they let her know. she told the world on Instagram about the replacement and expressed it with grace and gratitude. I'd be devastated. Some other people have voiced the characters in the past, but Kelly has been doing it since 2007 in Mario Strikers Charged.
Jeez.
Sucks.
Just
big role.
Yeah. There were some other cool games coming out that I missed in the showcases last week that I just wanted to mention. Toem 2 and Call of the Elder Gods, a sequel to Call of the Sea. And also Grounded 2 enters game preview on July 29th, and I can't wait for it. That was coming way sooner than I thought it was.
Yeah, I was surprised when they announced the release date at the showcase. It's July. I'm like, really? We didn't know this existed.
Mm-hmm.
Always nice when they're able to actually keep something hidden, and then they get to really surprise you with something.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. Nintendo Switch 2 users are reporting stick drift already. Some people right out of the box. There's talk of upgrading future Joy-Cons to be magnetic like Hall Effect sticks, but that will take some time.
That they could have done that years and years and years and fucking years ago. Because it's not like they didn't know it was a problem.
I was talking with Lloyd earlier, and he suggested because the Joy-Cons themselves have magnets to connect them, that maybe that would interfere.
That's what I heard as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they knew it was going to be a problem because it's been a problem for like a fucking decade.
Well, there was a lawsuit about it.
Yeah, so they knew it was a goddamn problem. They should have redesigned the fucking thing so it would still work. They've had time to figure this out, and now they're like, "Oh, this is an issue now. We're gonna have just wait. We'll figure it out." Fucker, you've had the time to figure it the fuck out. Why did you wait? Why did you design this piece of shit to actively not work and then be like, "Oh, just give us some time"? How many years since that fucking lawsuit happened has there been for these jackasses to figure it the fuck out? That pisses me off.
I mean, I guess Hall Effect joysticks are just more expensive. I don't know. Because all the console manufacturers are using the same analogs.
You can buy third-party ones for cheaper.
Yeah, they're usually wired, though, so fuck that.
Fair. I'm sure magnets would probably play hell on wireless stuff, because it would be messing with the radio waves or whatever the fuck it is. So, fair. I don't know if you can even make it to where it's wireless, to be honest. I don't know enough about that software. Or hardware.
Well, no, at least on Xbox, the reason they're not wireless is because of Microsoft. And them not wanting to, I guess, license the technology. And Mad Catz being like, or no, Power A, whoever it is, being like, whatever, we'll just sell them wired for $40. So
fair?
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I'm okay with wired. I keep all my stuff wired, but I know I'm weird. So
I have cats, and my cats will entangle themselves in the cords while they are stepping across my game space. So
sounds so cute.
I have lost expensive headphones to Teak before because she decided to jump in my lap and it ripped the cord out. Ooh. So yeah, I don't do wired as much as possible.
I think I'm one of the rare ones who does wired. I think most people have moved away from it just because lots of people sit further away from their stuff than I do. I sit like a foot away from everything.
Oh, I sit really close to everything too. So there is that, But no, like Tika's taken lately to wanting to like chew on the keyboard cord.
Cats gotta love them.
That's her new thing to get my attention. Is she'll try and pick it up and shove it in her mouth and piss me off. So
Jacob
she doesn't bite
stuff
down.
In his mouth too.
Yeah.
So what other news you got?
Yeah, also in trouble right now is Mind's Eye by Build a Rocket Boy. Pre-launch, there were some issues with the game, like an alleged smear campaign and executives suddenly leaving the studio. Now the game is out, and we find that large review outlets were denied keys, and there are not enough critic reviews to have a Metascore. Reports are coming in of horrible glitches and extremely poor performance, especially on PC, leading to a lot of refunds.
Yeah, I recently, one of the YouTube places I watch does little things where they tell you about games That way you have information before you buy them. And yet they were not impressed with the game. They were like, this is, I really wanted this to be good, and it is really not. And I was like, oh, that makes me sad.
Sony's issuing refunds for the game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They dropped the ball, sadly. Ugh.
There's apparently a lot of cutscenes up front at the beginning of the game with very limited gameplay in the first 2 hours. And I think on Steam, you have limitations on the time you spend in the game.
Oh, that's shitty.
Yeah.
Oh, that's shitty.
Dicks.
Yeah, Mind's Eye has a disc. Come the fuck on.
Yeah, but the only use it is sharpening and shooting at people.
And then I have Movie Watch.
Oh, where's the button?
Okay,
it's Movie Watch. There.
It sounded like he was coming.
Yes, he did. The
No. This sounds like coming.
No.
So anyway.
The Midnight Walk, the dark claymation game from Moonhood Studios, will be getting a movie or TV series. The game's now available on PlayStation 5, PS, VR 2, and Steam. They'll be working with Story Kitchen, the film company behind Sonic the Hedgehog.
Nice.
Interesting. I'm kind of excited for that.
And another Movie Watch news. The Backrooms is getting a film adaptation at A24 with 19-year-old director Kane Parsons at the helm. They recently also signed Alex Garland to write and direct an Elden Ring film and Michael Sanaski to direct the Death Stranding movie. And of course, A24 or A24 is known for their indie films. Now they seem to be looking into a lot of video game films.
Nice.
I mean, in my opinion, that makes sense. I mean, because there's only so many video game movies that are going to get made, and so there's a ton of indie titles that, you know, are just getting passed up because they're not Mario, they're not Street Fighter, they're not Mortal Kombat, you know. So it's nice that they're A24 is like picking this up and, you know, giving other titles a chance for once.
I need to go watch the old Street Fighter movie now.
Which one?
The terror one with Jean-Claude in it.
You mean the cinematic masterpiece with Jean-Claude Van Damme?
That's clearly what she meant, man. Just let her go. Let her go.
I mean, where cocaine was practically in the budget for the movie.
I would believe it.
Konami and Bloober Team announced they're doing a Silent Hill 1 remake.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I saw that earlier today.
Yeah.
That looked interesting.
No platforms, so hopefully it's not an exclusive.
I'm sure it won't. It'll probably be fine.
Something that is an exclusive, Disgaea 7 Complete, will be hitting the Switch 2 later this year. Yeah. Fantasy Life I cracked 1 million units sold after 3 weeks.
Oh,
Very
shit.
good.
Nice.
And 14 copies were from Xbox. Bri, any other news?
No, that was the end of my news.
Jacob, what do you got?
You guys actually covered just about all the news I had. The only thing I have is that word on the street is that Mortal Kombat 2, which comes out this fall, was testing very positive with test audiences. So, in case you were looking forward to it, you now have more reason to. Apparently, they got it right.
Movie Watch. There.
I mean, we already did that, but
then we did game stuff again.
oh yeah, that's true, I guess.
What else you got?
That's it.
That
Yeah.
it, man. Matt PA, what do you have?
I'm not here. I never showed up. That none of this ever happened.
Fair enough. Y'all ready for reviews?
Yeah.
Sure.
Jacob, are you ready?
Yeah.
Because you're starting off.
I know. I see the list.
Are you ready?
I guess.
Set
I mean,
list.
it's about as ready as I'm gonna be.
Right. First game to talk about tonight is Disney Illusion Island, starring Mickey and Friends. Developed by Dlala Studios, published by Disney. Released May 30th on Series X and S, PS5, and Windows Store for $29.99. Join Mickey and friends on a quest to explore the mysterious island of Minos and recover 3 mystical books to save the world from disaster. Jacob, what is Disney Illusion Island starring Mickey and friends?
So Disney Illusion Island is essentially...
Starring Mickey and friends.
I'm not saying that every single time.
Should.
No, I'm not. No.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, so Disney Illusion Island is pretty much a Metroidvania for kids. You can decide whether you just want to play single player or if you want to do co-op with your friends. You can have up to 4 people playing, and you could choose from Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, and Donald as you run around this huge island, and you have to collect these various books, but also collect other things. And there are some side quests to complete here and there, which are pretty fun. There's memorabilia to collect, which reference different Mickey Mouse cartoons throughout the decades. I mean, like there's Steamboat Willie stuff. There's I forget what it's called. It has to do with potatoes, but like it's pretty varied. There's also lore things that you can unlock by collecting all these like little energy ball things. And of course, like any Disney property, like physical property, there are hidden Mickeys throughout this game. And in fact, they actually make it a point of something that you have to constantly be out on the lookout for. And so you have to like take pictures as you're like jumping through areas and, you know, hit the button. I don't know why I just made the sound effects, but anyway, of the camera click. But yeah, you jump through them and you get this like little fun thing. But anyway, back to the game itself. You start off in this section, and it turns out you've been bamboozled. You thought you were going to go for a picnic, but there is no picnic.
What?
Yes. And in fact, you've actually been recruited by this like little gopher looking species, and they need you to recover these 3 books, which are spread out through Illusion Island, obviously. And it starts off simple and basic, like, you know, you could jump, you can not exactly dash, but as you go through the island and you unlock various areas, you are given these different powers, much like any other Metroidvania out there. You don't start off with every single power at your disposal. And there is this inventor guy who will invent various things, and it's a pretty funny running joke. Throughout it, like Mickey gets these fun and imaginative inventions to be able to do stuff. Minnie gets all these other adventurous, but like mostly like mountain climbing-ish kind of stuff. Goofy gets nothing but food, and Donald gets absolutely terrible gifts to be able to do stuff with, like being able to climb up walls. He gets a plunger to do it, like a toilet plunger to do it with.
That's fantastic.
And he's just like, what the heck? Why are all mine like this way? He's like, what? You know, it would be good for you. I think
that was really one of my favorite parts of the interview I did with AJ from Dlala back in August of 23. Yeah, that long ago. Episode 895, if anyone wants to check it out. AJ of Dlala came on to chat with Aki and I about this game when it first launched on Switch, and just all the dumb crap that they make Donald deal with in this game is beautiful.
It really is.
They just troll him incessantly.
Yeah, and like it's just throughout, and Donald takes it as best as Donald can. But honestly, like I was playing as him the whole time. But you, as I said, you can do co-op with 4 other people, which I think is pretty cool. So yeah, sorry, 3 other people for a total of 4 players. unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to try that. My kids were like, I don't know about this.
What?
I don't know if you. Yeah. Remember the Care Bears game that we reviewed a bit ago?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. After how chaotic that was.
Oh, they don't trust you anymore.
No.
Just to play a game again. No.
Completely justified.
I hate y'all. Except Bri. So far, Bri and I are cool.
All right. Fist bump.
But yeah, so as you go through, you gain more powers, and of course, you're going to have to do some backtracking. That's what you do in Metroidvania games. But thankfully, there is. Oh my God, why am I forgetting the name of the? It's a game mechanic that all these things have, where you can just teleport to like different areas on the map.
Fast
travel.
Fast travel. Thank you. I'm like, I wanted to call it Easy Pass, and I'm like, no, that's the PA Turnpike thing. So fast. So
You broke Joe. Congrats.
Friggin' Turnpike. Easy pass. Oh,
So,
I gotta tell Purnell that one.
Yeah, fast. GoldenEye's thinking of Fast Pass, the thing that gets you to the front of the line of Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah. So use this mechanic to get through. To hopefully make it easier to hop through, but unfortunately, it like once you unlock the ability, you then will have to go back to previous spots that you like where they were located to kind of activate them. And I'm not going to lie, that did make it kind of frustrating at certain points, because there were some times where I was like, I don't really know where I'm supposed to go next on this thing. And granted, most of the time the game is just like, yeah, you really just have to go over here. I mean, it's made for kids, but sometimes the directions aren't all that clear. And so you end up having to go and do a bunch of unnecessary backtracking. And honestly, I could have seen my kids just being like, because there was one part where I was just like, I can't figure out what to do next. I don't know, like, if I have to, like, go back, collect some stuff, and then, come back here. And I ended up blowing, like, a solid hour of just backtracking through the map. And I could see my kids just being like, nope, I'm not dealing with this. Which is kind of unfortunate, because this is honestly a really fun game. Like, it is solid. It never glitched on me. It never crashed. It looks beautiful. It's the art style of the Mickey Mouse cartoons that they've been making for like the last, like, I don't know, like I'd say like 10, 15 years, thereabouts, and which is a more modern take on Mickey Mouse, but I love it. A friend of mine used to actually work on those cartoons, but so I mean, I already have a kind of fondness for that animation style with it. But like the music was catchy. The enemies are a pain in the butt frequently, but not so much that it's like you want to like throw your controller. But there were plenty of times where I'm like, oh God, here, like, just muttering to myself, and my wife is like, "Are you okay, babe?" Yeah, I'm fine. Like, but thankfully,
you're not supposed to lie. Don't lie to people. That's bad.
But thankfully, the game has plenty of checkpoints throughout. Like, for what it lacks in fast travels, like, good Lord, there is a ton of checkpoints. Thank God, because I would need them. Much like I imagine small children would as well. And the game does have varying difficulties. You can decide whether you want to start off with 1, 2, or 3 hearts. Naturally, I went with 3 because I was going to need them. And frankly, I'm not looking for a challenge. I'm looking for fun. But yeah, like, there's plenty to be had here, and there's a lot more that I still have yet to discover in this game. There is a solid amount of gameplay in here. And like, for you achievement hunters, like, you'll earn achievements at a regular pace in this. I mean, you're not going to knock this game out in like, and I would say you're not even going to knock it out in like 5 or 6 hours.
Oh no, if you want all the achievements in this, you're looking at 20 plus hours.
Yeah, like it's like there's a good solid amount of gameplay in this game. And I'm having a ball with it. Like this is going to be on my Xbox for a long time.
Very cool. Shout out to Dlala. I remember back in like 2015 or something, we covered their game Overruled. Do you remember that one?
Mm-mm.
Like
was it on Xbox?
Arena brawler. Yeah.
Overruled?
Yeah, it was one of the first games that we covered on this show. Like it was early days of SML, and AJ came on for that, and then they did Battletoads. So from Overruled to Battletoads, and now Disney Illusion Island, and like they're fucking nailing it.
Yeah, they're doing well for themselves.
Yeah. So Disney Illusion Island, starring Mickey and Friends, runs $29.99. Give us your verdict.
Absolutely. Like there's a lot of fun to be had in this game, and for $30, like it's a good value for it. Like there's tons of replayability in it. And it's just a lot of fun. So yeah, definitely check it out.
Rock on.
It's made for kids, but it's also challenging for adults.
Rock on. If you do buy it on Xbox, it is Play Anywhere. You get the Series X version or Series X and S version. You get it on Windows Store, and it's part of cloud gaming. So there you go.
Very nice.
Next up, Atomfall, Wicked Isle DLC, developed and published by Rebellion, released June 3rd as DLC for Atomfall for $19.99, included in the Deluxe Upgrade or Deluxe Edition. Surrounded by murky and perilous waters lies a wicked isle, a mysterious new region to explore nestled off of the Cumberland coast. They say there was a creepy old fishing village out there, but the locals haven't seen anyone from there for years. There's a boat from the Wyndham Village shore for anyone brave enough to go and look for themselves. New mysteries, new supplies, and new possibilities of escape could lie ahead for anyone who dares. Aki, what is Atomfall? Wicked Isle.
Okay, so this is DLC for the game Atomfall. I know, crazy, right? And
I said that.
I know, it's insane. And yeah, you're heading off to a little island off the coast. It has been added into the main game after you buy it, so you do actually have to play through a little bit of the game. You can get to it pretty early on, though I wouldn't suggest it because things are going to fuck you up if you do. And yeah, you can go in almost any time because you have to go through like one bad guy village and then into the next, good guy, very loosely, village to find this place. So it's like you can get there in under 10 minutes if need be. And yeah, you're basically carted off to this little island where there is a old monastery that used to be filled with monks and priests of the, I believe, an old Catholic faith. And it has basically gone to shit. Most of the people there have disappeared, and all that's left are now a whole bunch of thugs that have popped over here, and pirates and stuff, and obviously all the bad guys. There aren't very many of the outlaws around, thankfully, which are the first set of enemies that you find in the main game. But there are a whole bunch of pirate people, and they're so piratey, they carry cutlasses and blunderbusses, for fuck's sake. And the thing about this game is, if an enemy has a weapon, you can kill them and just take it. So I now have a blunderbuss and a cutlass. Why? Because I could. Yeah. There are a handful of new weapons. I think there was like 5 I've seen so far. I haven't finished it yet, but I've found 5. 4 of them are pretty standard. There's a new type of bow, there's a new dagger, and the 2 that I've already mentioned. And then there's there's at least one main boss, I don't know what you would call it, type weapon. So yeah, there's druids on the island, there's the pirates on the island, and there's a new type of amphibious enemy that shows up that's another feral. Basically, think of them like ghouls from Fallout. And yeah, except for these are fish people, and that is why you don't want to come here at the very beginning, because they will fuck you up. Pretty seriously. Thankfully, there's not too many places where I found them so far yet, anyways. And yeah, you're trying to figure out what happened to this island and help this guy who brought you here on his little rowboat. He wants you to find something, and it very quickly goes from finding that thing to now you have a really big adventure with a very shady asshole. So, woohoo! You get to make friends with some of the pirates if you so wish, or you can, kill them all. Either way, works, realistically speaking. There's a handful of new weapons, there's a couple new enemy types, there's 3 new ways to complete the game. And yeah, it's really fun. It gives you access to a few new skills as well, one of them being that you can see the ghosts of the past. Basically little orbs that you can interact with that show you memories, more or less, of some old dead priests to help you figure out the plot of what actually happened here. And it's really interesting because not only is everything... It's not all kept on just this island. Because it turns out you have to find some stuff, and the people of this island hid that stuff in the main game areas. So it gets really cool because you have to go and search for shit in the main game to complete some extra stuff in this DLC. It's really fun how they integrated everything. Sadly, none of the weapons from this place are in the main game area. It's only on the island, sadly, because that would have been really interesting to find the new weapons and be like, what the fuck is this? But it makes sense. Like, they're called the Lakeside Pirates or something like that. So it's understandable that, they have cutlasses and blunderbusses and the outlaws don't. I guess it makes sense, but it would have been funny. And yeah, this is probably, depending on how kitted out you are, this thing could last you, 10 hours. If you're really well kitted, it could take you maybe 5 or 6. I hadn't beaten the game yet, so this took me a while. I actually started a brand new save to do this because I couldn't figure out how to access the DLC at first. So I was just like, okay, maybe I've gotten too far into the game and I can't access it. I don't know. And after I made the save and played for like 10 or 11 hours, I eventually was like, how do I find this? Because he isn't on the treaded path. Like, he is easy to find if you know he exists. But he's not somewhere where you might readily be running up to, because he's, a little off the ways. So once I figured that out, I was like, oh, I maybe want to start that now. And I rushed there. And yeah, I think I've put like 13 to 16 hours into the game and the DLC at this point, and I'm most of the way through the main game and about halfway, give or take, into the DLC at this point, and it has been a hell of a great time. I am thoroughly enjoying myself because I got kitted out because I knew what I wanted and I understood some of the mechanics from my first partial playthrough. So yeah, you're gonna be dealing with a whole bunch of druid assholes, and they have traps everywhere, so have fun with that. Keep a look on the ground so you can disarm those, or you're gonna have a really bad fucking time. And that's it, unless you have any questions for me.
No, clocks in at $20, or it's part of the deluxe edition, or 25, or the deluxe upgrade for 25. What are your thoughts on Wicked Isle?
I think if you like the main game, this is 100% worth it. It is so fucking fun. If you didn't like the main game, sadly, this is more of that, so it's probably not really going to change your mind because there's something wrong with you. But yeah, I think it's totally worth it. I think you should probably get the deluxe pack just so you have the little extra stuff as well, because I think the deluxe comes with like some extra packs or something with it. Nothing major, but might as well toss them another $5. Why not? They deserve it.
I think it comes with the enhanced supply and basic supply bundles. Whatever goodies are in there.
Yeah, I think that's some basic items for crafting and maybe some stuff to upgrade your weapons or something would be my guess.
Additional loot caches.
Oh, that would be fun. Not something you really need. Like at this point, I have maxed out basically everything, and I'm regularly just throwing stuff that I could trade and get really high value. I'm just throwing it on the ground because I'm like, I don't need this, and it's just taking up room.
Cool.
So, yeah. But yeah, I think totally worth buying. It's fantastic.
And with that last, that was 10 in one review.
Oh, yeah. There, now it's 11. Yeah.
Next
12.
game, Section 13, developed by Ocean Drive Studio, published by Kakao Games. Released June 1st on Series X and S for $19.99. Section 13 is a roguelite twin-stick shooter packed with action and challenges. As an agent of the S2P Corporation, it's up to you to investigate a crisis at the most top-secret facility of a company whose whole thing is keeping secrets. Jacob, what's Section 13?
So, Section 13 is a twin-stick shooter, and it's, by definition, it's a roguelite, but... all right, let me just get to it. So, you start off as this agent who is... like an up-and-coming field agent, and you're super excited because this is going to be your first mission, and you get killed pretty darn quick as you're being sent in to explore this hidden facility for this company that essentially deals with like the SCP kind of stuff, like the secure, contain, protect kind of stuff for all sorts of supernatural, otherworldly, dimension hopping, all that kind of stuff. And so you get killed pretty much right away, like as soon as you enter in the thing. But then you wake up outside of the facility again. Very strange. And it turns out that you're just going to be reliving this over and over and over again. Are you a robot? Are you a clone? Who knows? And there is a storyline that goes with it, as you have this like computer AI that you get to talk to and get more information from, along with some other characters that are helping you like try to defeat all this kind of stuff. And it starts to go into what you believe are going to be randomized levels, but very quickly you realize that it's an arena that just shows the same arena in different viewpoints over and over again. And gameplay is fine. Like, there's different weapons you can use. Aiming is fine. It's just... I don't know. It doesn't do anything to stand out on its own. Like, it's okay. But it's just like, it's real easy to get like absolutely screwed at the start of a mission, and like there's very rarely going to be anything to heal you. And so it's just like, oh, well, you died again. Better start up this run. And there are some like I want to say talents that you can like not necessarily upgrade, but like make better over the course of time. Like, I wouldn't even call it an upgrade because it's just like, it's not really that noticeable of a difference. But yeah, it's just you doing the same thing over and over again, and there's not a lot to try differently. There isn't a lot of variety to the weapons. There aren't very many different enemy types, and it's just kind of there. Like, it doesn't feel like anything different. Like, and one of the things I found that I'm a little disappointed by is if you go on the Steam reviews, this used to be like a Steam early access game under a different title. What the heck was it called? Blackout Protocol is what it used to be called. And apparently everyone was very enthusiastic about it. And then the devs for some reason scrapped a ton of content in the game. And now we just get this like, everyone views it as this like bare bones thing. And I went in knowing nothing about this. And yeah, it's fine, but I don't know. It didn't wow me or anything.
No. Looks like a missed opportunity, at least for launch, is the fact that it did not release on Xbox with online co-op. That is planned. The store page says June, so it could be this month, or it might come later in the summer. And then couch co-op is slated for September or sometime this fall. Just seems like a kind of a missed opportunity. So for $20, what do you think?
I mean, that's cool that they're gonna like fix those things later on, but it like, in my opinion, those are things that this game should have launched with. But at the same time, I'm also like, couch co-op with 4 players on this game. There's better games in this genre. Like, honestly, like, it reminded me a lot of like Assault Heroes, minus the vehicles from like the old Xbox 360 days. And yeah, I don't know. It's just, I wanted to like this. Like, the writing seemed fun with it, but the gameplay was just very ho-hum on it.
You're a ho-hum. Next game, Minos Dungeon. What?
You didn't ask if I thought you should buy it.
I did ask you that. I said $20. What's your verdict?
No, you didn't.
And then you just... Can I get some backup here? Am I going to have to, like, pull up the recording live on the show?
Yes, you are.
Do it just to show him who's boss.
All right.
Or you could just ask me right now.
No, he wants to show you who's boss, and that's amusing.
I can't. I'm really looking forward to him eating shit live on air.
Either way, it's funny for me.
I might have to stop the recording to pull the clip up.
That seems like a lot of effort. Why don't you just ask me?
Okay, so for the 9th time, Jacob, $20. What's your verdict?
No. Like, if it's on sale for like $5, I'd be like, all right. But for $20, no. Not in this state.
Gotcha. Next up, Minos Dungeon, developed and published by AFIL Games, released June 11th on Xbox One, Series X and S, Windows Store, $4.99 each. You control Ferdinando, a good-natured minotaur who isn't interested in fighting in labyrinths. He just wants his treasures. To achieve this, you need to push stone blocks through mysterious rooms, cover treacherous holes, and solve increasingly complex challenges. But don't think it's just about pushing. The blocks slide until they hit something. Each level brings surprises that will test your reasoning. Bri and Jacob, both of you covered this. Bri, start us off. What's Minos Dungeon?
So I'm not sure how AFIL keeps coming up with different twists on Sokoban, but here we are.
Oh, no, Koban.
This time we have a punch mechanic that sends blocks flying in one direction. Sokoban games are box push games of varying types, where you must push boxes to an objective or move them to get to an exit. Our hero is a minotaur, and he's trying to get the treasure in the dungeon. To get there, you'll have to replace the holes in the floor with boxes. There's like lava in the floor or something. To make things more complicated, you have spots on the floor that can hold your boxes, arrows that move the box for you, and then trapdoors that act as teleporters. Side note, I type the word teleporters a lot, and my spell check hates it. There are a lot of words I type in my notes that are normal for me that just aren't acceptable, and I'm too lazy to add them to my dictionary.
Well, that's your own fucking fault.
I seriously have typed the word teleporters like 3 weeks in a row in my notes, and that's just a pattern now. I don't know. So anyway, when you punch purple blocks that can fill the lava holes, you have to punch them so they slide in such a way that they move where you can punch them again until you get it into the hole, creating a bridge. That was a cumbersome sentence that came out of my mouth. There are later blocks you can punch to destroy as part of the puzzle as well. There are 3 biomes and dozens of levels, and the Minotaur does a little dance when he gets to the treasure, which is pretty cute.
That was unexpectedly cute.
Yeah.
So Bri, I don't know how far you got on this game. I am stuck at level 15.
I got through the achievement components.
Well, yeah, I'm stuck on level 15, and I'm just like, man, I can't wait till the embargo drops, so like somebody will upload their strategies up on YouTube, because I'm just like, I don't know what the hell. Like, I've tried just about every damn thing under the sun, and I can't wait to watch Carnage just upload a video and it gets solved in like 5 seconds, and it's just like, I'm gonna feel like the dumbest person ever. Yeah, I
mean, to be fair,
shut up. Yeah, I like the visual style of this game. Like, the punching animation was different enough. Like, I appreciated it, but damn it if I'm not stuck in this game. Like, I just don't know what to do, and so I only got so far.
A couple levels being kind of challenging, but eventually I sussed them out. Like, yeah.
Yeah, this one I'm stuck. I can't suss it out just yet.
All right.
Well, $5.
I'd say buy it.
Yeah, I'll give it a buy it.
Hey, any other thoughts?
It was cute, but also getting sick of Sokoban.
Keeper's Toll, developed by Stingbot Games and eastasiasoft, published by eastasiasoft. Released June 11th on Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, PS5 for $6.99. Delve into Keeper's Toll, an action-packed roguelite brimming with challenge and despair. Survive against an onslaught of relentless hordes, and grueling bosses with skill-based ARPG gameplay. Embrace the darkness and cleanse these cursed lands. Jacob, what's Keeper's Toll?
So Keeper's Toll is a survivors, it's part of the survivors genre, and I'm not gonna lie, like when I was just like, yeah, I'll review this game, I thought that this was just gonna be like, oh, cool, it's gonna be another survivors game, just breeze through it, have a review done in an hour after some gameplay, because I've played enough of these almost as much as I've played Sokoban titles within the last year, and I was really friggin' surprised by this one. So you only get 6 characters to mess around with, or it might be 5, but I think it's 6. There's an archer, there's a swordsman, there is a pyromancer, there's this woman who's got this bow staff with blades on each end. And there's, I forget what the other characters are, but anyways, and you just run around, the map, just killing all these bad guys. And as you go through, the game will alert you oh, there's a disturbing presence to the left. There is a shopkeeper has set up in the south, stuff like that. And so all of this is timed, but it does create various challenges for you as you're doing this, because some of the challenges are that you have to stay in a very particular area, otherwise the challenge ends and you don't get an item which will help you throughout your journey. And bosses will come in, sometimes they'll just teleport in and then just disappear after you've kicked their ass too much. And then there's also these weird beings that will drop coins as you keep hitting them and run after them and stuff like that. And each one of the classes, they're honestly I didn't find any really weak class. You have to I mean, yeah, sure, everyone sucks on your first like couple of runs and stuff like that. But once you start investing in the skill trees, and it's not just like, oh, well, like we've upgraded like as you upgrade this character, like they now have like, I don't know, like 5 attack power or some stuff like that. Each of the characters has their own unique skill tree, and what's really cool is that like the experience that you gain is just limited to that character. Like you can't spend the experience points on somebody else. And so to like get the different characters built up, you have to play as them. And for better or for worse, like you start figuring out what your play style is and who you're going to kick the most ass as. And yeah, it just like, it's a really challenging game. I was having a lot of fun, even though I'm like, I still have yet to beat any of the levels. But like it does unlock if you, further levels will unlock if you complete like X amount of time in a certain area. But I still have yet to beat any of the levels, and it's just like, I can't wait to keep playing this. Like, it's a ton of fun. Like, the only thing I'm not thrilled about is that it's not a game that you can play one-handed like Vampire Survivors. You do have to use the right stick to aim your weapon and stuff like that, depending on which class of character that you use. Like, if you use the archer, obviously you have to aim your stuff. But yeah, like it's like this thing's a blasty blast. Like it was really unexpected. I was expecting some sort of like cheap, survivors game, like to cash in on the franchise, like not franchise, but cash in on the genre. And this thing it's definitely worth it. Like this is a lot of fun.
All right. Well, it's $7. What do you think?
Really?
Yep.
Wow. That is cheap. Okay, yeah, definitely.
$6.99, and it's on sale right now for another 13 days for $5.59.
Absolutely, get it.
There you go. All right, if I can ask everyone to, I'm going to pull up a stream here. Share my screen. All right, jump into that live stream if you can. We're going to listen to this together. We're going to find out.
What live stream?
In
Clicking
Discord.
on you?
Let's do this kinky shit.
How do I do this?
You should just click on my name and there's a live stream.
Oh, watch stream. Okay. Are you recording this as we listen to this?
Yes, I am.
Oh my God, this is ridiculous.
So it could be this month, or it might come later in the summer. And then Couch Co-op is slated for September or sometime this fall. Just seems like a kind of a missed opportunity. So for $20, what do you think? Fuck you!
No. Oh my God,
he got you. He was right.
He did.
He showed you who's boss, bitch.
Bitch, you a bitch.
I mean, not really, but okay.
Okay. Next game to talk about.
I'll let Joe has victories where he gets them.
I mean, I earned this one.
Not really.
And to be fair, he has more victories than you do.
Yeah.
In what measure?
All of them?
Nah.
Next game to talk about is Collie Farm of Tomorrow. Developed and published by AFIL Games. Released June 6th, Xbox One, Series X and S, Windows Store, $4.99 each. In Collie Farm of Tomorrow, you're back as the smartest pup on the pasture, but this time the farm's gone full sci-fi with teleporters, conveyor belts, oil slicks, and sneaky holes. You'll need all your brain power and tail-wagging determination to guide your woolly friends to safety. Sneaky holes. Jacob, do you have any comment on that?
Sneaky holes.
Yeah.
That's my favorite kind of glory hole.
All right. Bri, Jacob, both of you played this. Bri, start us off. What is Collie Farm of Tomorrow?
Well, this is the sequel to Collie, a Sokoban game where you push sheep toward the pasture. You can't pull, you can only push. And in the Farm of Tomorrow, you have a whole bunch of new things like conveyor belts or treadmills, whatever you want to call them, to move your sheep through, and of course teleporters. There were teleporters in the last game, sort of. You like pushed through a house and ended up in another house, but this is actually more like teleporters. And like in the first game, you have oil instead of mud, which causes things to slide. And now you have blocks to fill holes that you need to move across. There are also yeah. There's also buttons you can weigh down with blocks that remove gates. Sometimes you need to move a block on the button, sometimes a sheep. Some strategies you may need to employ is moving the sheep in the way to slide other sheep into place. It takes a little mental effort to get through some of the levels. The pixel art is cute. The animations for the dog when it completes a level is really cute. This game also has seasonal themes for the levels. You start out in winter and move on to Halloween. There's some spring action in there as well. You'll see farm critters wandering around in the background in the 30 levels available. Jacob?
Like, I don't know, man. Like,
Don't hurt yourself trying to think here, Jesus.
I don't know. Like, it's just like these things get shoveled out like so quickly, and it's just like, yeah, it's fine. Like, it's fine. Shut up, whore acolyte. Yeah. Yes, I did make it past level 19.
I am shooketh. You're getting better. Congratulations.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it's okay. Like, these games are all the same, and this one I find to be like absolutely ludicrous because it's just like the setting makes absolutely no sense. I mean, now they slapped on like the Farm of Tomorrow thing, and it's just like so they can justify having teleporters out in the field, and it's just, dude, like you could they couldn't have just had like normal barns, like, or like,
no, because they need teleporters, obviously. Come on now.
I don't know, man. Like, do you like Sokoban? Then get it. If you don't, like, then don't. Like,
$5, need a verdict.
I thought it was cute. Go for it.
It's fine. Try it.
You got a week to get it for $4. Does that change your mind?
No. Like,
fair.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of wish AFIL would start releasing things that aren't Sokoban.
Is fair.
They do a lot of Sokoban. Yeah.
They, yeah, it's all Sokoban all the time.
Oh. Well, let's talk about something that isn't Sokoban. Next game, Golf Up, developed and published by Super Power Up Games, released May 1st on Xbox One, Series X and S, and Windows PC for $6.99. Golf Up is a fun-loaded golf game you can play with up to 4 friends in several game modes. In tournament mode, you can pick between the classic or points option, in which you earn points by getting good results in the holes and making quick decisions for bigger bonuses. You'll be able to play solo in arcade mode and compare your score in the online ranking with that of your friends and players from around the world. Jacob, tell us about your time with Golf Up.
So Golf Up, like, as it plays, which is kind of like an isometric golf game, you're playing it from a decently far away angle, but yeah, it's just you're trying to get the golf ball into the hole within, like, by par, and if you don't, then the level is over and you have to start again. Yes. And so you could be on level 12 if you don't get under par, or you don't get par, guess what? You're back to level 1. This is like Bomberman Act 0 level of bullshit.
Yeesh.
And I'm just like, and the thing is, like, what sucks is that much like Bomberman Act 0, like, gameplay's fine. Like, I think it plays great. But the fact that, like, you can't just simply redo a level, no. Like, it becomes challenging for all the wrong reasons. And like, this is something that, like, I don't know if the devs were just like, oh yeah, like, you know, this will be challenging and we'll get people to play for a long time. Like, no, you're going to have people who are just like, they're going to get to like the 5th hole and then have to start all over again, realizing that they just can't redo, or like there's no level select on this game. And they're just going to be like, yeah, screw that. Game, like, I wanted to like this. I really did. Instead, the game just becomes a chore.
Damn. That's a bummer.
Yeah. Like, it, as a golf game, it's fine. It plays fine. It looks nice. Do you just like, no, I'm not going to constantly go back to the 1st hole. No.
All right. $7. Verdict.
No, not in this state. Like, honestly, fix it with like a level select or the ability to redo, and I would be happy to be like, heck yeah, pick it up. But without this, no.
It's too punishing.
Yeah, it really is.
All right. One final game to talk about tonight is a preview of a game called Mina the Hollower. Developed and published by Yacht Club Games. It's releasing October 31st on all platforms, and a demo is available on Steam, but only until Tuesday during Next Fest. So get on it now. Take control of Mina, a renowned hollower hurtled into a desperate mission to rescue a cursed island. Whip foes, burrow through the ground, and explore a pixel-perfect world. And Mina the Hollower, a brand new game from the developers who brought you Shovel Knight. Aki and Bri, both of you check this out. Aki, start us off. What is Mina the Hollower?
Okay, in this, you are a mouser, and you have been called back to this island, I think? Because you are some sort of inventor and you created a system of lights, maybe electricity. I'm not entirely sure. And shit is going down and there's problems with it. So you've been called back to come fix this shit by the leader of the town. And on your way there, a Kraken appears and really wrecks your shit. At least it wrecked my shit. I don't know if you can beat it. I assume you can't. And then you get to the island and you start trying to make your way to wherever the mayor, president, island chief,
Baron.
Whatever. Okay, Baron is, and you're fighting all sorts of critters. Bats were the one that really sticks out to me. Some sort of dog or lizard thing. I don't know. It's very hard to tell exactly because of the graphical style. I'm not exactly sure what they are, but they're little rat bastards that killed the shit out of me enough times that I'm very upset with them. And you get bones and stuff to level up your items. You have to get to 350 at first to level things up. And you can level up either your strength, your defense, how much damage your side weapons do that you can pick up, or how much that you're able to store safely. And that just means, oh, I have this much, this is how much I need to actually level up. So I found it was easier just to level things up and then level that up because it always went to whatever the next level up amount is. So it starts at 350 like all the others do. So when you die, you keep 350 on you, I think is what it's supposed to do. And then when you level it up, it goes to 900. And if you level the other things, they also go to 900. So I always found it was easiest just to level that up last, just so I would level up and be able to hit the next item I needed immediately and just be done with it. And yeah, it is surprisingly extremely fucking difficult. I had a hell of a time with this. There are lots of little hidden stuff, and it doesn't fully explain things, but it allows you to figure stuff out. Like there
Did you
are
read
hidden...
the manual?
No, is there a manual?
It's like an old school game. It's based on like Game Boy Color, but made for modern gaming, and there's like a ton of lore and a bestiary and all sorts of info on the game and the world and everything in the manual that's in the options. It's really cool.
Yes, I totally. Mm-hmm. Yep, 100%.
Tells you about the story, which is inspired by Victorian Gothic horror, following Mina the Hollower. In a world with anthropomorphic animals and humans, Hollowers are a guild that study the earth and its resources. And the spark generators Mina set up protected that, land from enemies. Yeah, it's the manual tells you a lot about the game and about the sidearms and the different moves you can make and how you can move. Like the Hollowers' special move is that they can burrow into the ground, and that'll allow you to jump further. If you burrow under near like a long gap, you can make a higher jump, and then you can burrow under rocks and throw them, which is pretty fun.
Sadly, you can't do that with enemies. That would have been super fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm. I would say one thing about the combat with the enemies. When you hit an enemy, you get knocked back slightly, which will help you stay out of range and avoid attacks. And they all have like pretty consistent patterns that you can exploit. I mean, yeah. And then there are some cool weapons that you can get. You start with an option of 3 different weapons. You can have daggers, a hammer, or a flail. And then you can also equip trinkets. There's things that'll help you recover from falls, that'll jump higher or farther. There's the stolenoid that magnetizes items like bones to you. And then there's the sidearms that Aki mentioned that use jewels, kind of like magic points, and you'll find jewels jars in the world. And they have a boomerang and a volt hatchet. The volt hatchet sends like a shockwave that's great for hitting enemies that are clustered together.
Personally, that's what I used the entire time. I didn't particularly like the boomerang sword at all. I never found a single trinket in my games.
Oh, okay. The other thing is that you get checkpoints that allow you to go to an underground space where you can switch weapons, renew your health points. You can burrow into the checkpoint space and then ride a geyser back to wherever you left from. It's called the Underlab, but it'll repopulate the enemies above when you go into it. So keep that in mind. Also kind of neat. It feels like you can really do things in the order you choose. You just have to understand the environment when you're exploring. Like, it took me a while to figure out I could use ropes and jump on these moving purple plants that I thought were enemies at first. Oops, I killed them a lot. And they just kept coming back, and I was very confused.
I understand that. I didn't realize you could jump on them for a while. And then I just attempted it at random because I was like, fuck it, I'm dying so much anyways, I might as well just test it. And it did really well, and I was really happy.
I would also mention the music. The chiptunes music is done by Jake Kaufman, who did the music for Shovel Knight and some other games you might know, like Shantae, DuckTales Remastered, and Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Nice.
I like Jake. I miss that guy.
Yeah. So good stuff there. I would also say the art, 8-bit, but it had a lot of color depth and shading, and there's some sparkle and flash on the load screen. There's like lightning effects and a glowing tower. It's really, really beautifully done. Just like a dark gothic world. Very pretty.
All right. Well, it's releasing October 31st. This is just a preview of the demo. Is this something we should be wishlisting? Something we should be keeping our eyes on?
I mean, I'm not the retro person on the show, but I do have a soft spot for a good throwback. I would say this game delivers tight controls, beautiful visuals, and a fantastic soundtrack. And if you hear this in time to get into the demo, your save will carry over to the beginning of the game. If not, I'm still going to say just please wish list this one. Bleh. And we'll probably remind you to grab this one in October, because I really thought this was great.
I like how you, Purnell, and Sperry all have this wish listed already.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
This is going to be a popular one.
Yeah, probably. I also really enjoyed it, and I totally think it's worth getting.
Very good. Oh, man. Jake Kaufman, new music. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
I love that. He's one of the few people I could name drop and be like, yeah, I partied with him a lot of times. I met him at MagFest 1.
Awesome.
Got drunk. Really drunk. Him and Dale North got fucked up. Super fucked up.
All right.
Good stuff. And now they're both super popular musicians. Yay. Music this episode. We're gonna play something from Virt because we just talked about him. So, Shantae. I mean, we gotta do it, right?
Yeah, that's why I did it. Because I was actually surprised you didn't before I did.
I didn't hear you, though, so I don't think the mic picked you up.
Fair.
Shantae. Does anyone even remember that running joke?
Nope.
I just remember you always did it, and I didn't know why.
Like, since the beginning of the show, someone would say Shantae, and we would just be like, Shantae!
Huh. No, I didn't realize that.
Old running joke, yeah. I don't know. I don't even remember what started it, but yeah. Does anyone have it? Oh, no. First off, we got to thank the Spoonful of Wonder team. Big thanks to Samantha and Kostia for coming on, hanging out with us. Copycat is available now. It is $15. Go give them your $15 and get an awesome game. And if you have a PS5, keep an eye on the physical later this summer. So there you go. Does anyone have any final words to end the show?
I totally finished a game while I was doing the show.
What game?
I've almost finished one of mine, too.
Warpbot.
Jacob, what were you playing all show?
I wasn't. I mean, I've got Cookie Clicker running in the background, but yeah, no.
You were playing something then.
Yeah, no, I mean passively.
Isn't that what you do with all of your games, is play them passively?
It's, sometimes I get involved.
Okay, if you say so.
Yeah. Matt PA, any final words?
I'm not here. I never showed up. That none of this ever happened.